Hey, this is Grant Arthur with Grant's Rock Warehouse, and today I've got two special guests. I've got from Australia, Bicyclelegs. You've seen Bicyclelegs on Contrarians. He has his own YouTube channel called Bicyclelegs. Bicyclelegs is everywhere. You've probably seen him before. Also, Todd Evans, which anyone who watches his channel, you know who Todd is, so he needs no introduction. But
Wow, thanks.
well, they should know you by now. So anyway, the gang's all here, and today we're going to talk Devo. What the panel is going to do is we're going to discuss our, we're going to go through the catalog, what we can, definitely the studio albums, and anything miscellaneous. So we're just kind of winging it at that end, but we're going to go through the studio albums and pick one track that is your favorite off each record. There, that's a lot simpler. So, and what we'll do, we'll just start with the first album, we'll just go around, and the second album go around, the third album. But right now, let me give a little bit of information on Devo. So, if you aren't familiar with Devo, Devo is an American rock band from Akron, Ohio, formed in 1973. Their classic lineup consisted of two sets of brothers, the Mothersbaugh, Mark and Bob, and the Casale brothers, Gerald and Bob. Along with Alan Myers as their drummer, the band had a number 14 Billboard chart hit in 1980 with the single Whip It. That song pretty much was the start of their mainstream popularity right then. So you've got Gerald, who played bass, he did vocals. He and Mark were the two main songwriters in the band. And of course, Mark Mothersbaugh, who did most of the vocals, he did keyboards, guitar. Bob is Mark's brother, and he's also the guitar player and did backup vocals. Bob was Gerald's brother. He passed away in 2014, but he did guitar, keyboards, backing vocals. And original drummer Alan Myers, who, after the band Shout, he was gone. He passed away in 2013. So that's it in a nutshell. Just a brief history of the band, just in case you're not familiar with Devo. But we're going to start out with the first album. And I think we'll just start out with Todd, and we'll just go around. So Todd, and then Bicyclelegs, and then me.
Okay. So I think we should mention first off that Bob Mothersbaugh is Bob 1 and Bob Casale is Bob 2.
Yes.
Yes. We got to keep them straight.
And flip them back and forth. It's okay.
All
So
right, go ahead, Todd.
so we're doing Q, Are We Not Men? A, We Are Devo.
Yes.
My favorite track that I picked, and this was hard, but I picked Gut Feeling Slap Your Mammy. And mostly the reason I picked that is because of how well the band plays on that song. That's one of those songs where when people say, "Oh, Devo can't play," you play that for whoever says that, and they will get some schooling. But I love that song. I like how it goes through that change towards the end, and there are a lot of songs in this album that I like. The original version, their version of "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" is probably the thing that got me into Devo in the first place. And I love Space Junk and Jocko Homo, of course. I remember being in high school, and seeing Devo play on Saturday Night Live, and they played Jocko Homo. And I think they played Satisfaction too. I'm not sure, but I remember a girl that rode my bus came on the bus, and she had this album in her, like, under her arm, and I said, "Is that the Devo album?" She was like, "Yeah, do you want to borrow it?" And I was like, "Yes," and I got really excited, and I remember that day so clearly. So that's my choice: Gut Feeling / Slap Your Mammy.
Excellent choice. Bicyclelegs, what do you got?
Cool. Well, I've got the album cover that was in the US and also in Australia. And also I have here the European cover.
Oh, nice.
They did do different European covers for a few of these albums because they're on different labels in the different territories. They were on Warner Brothers in North America and here in Australia, but they were on Virgin in Europe. My favorite song off the first album is probably Jocko Homo. simply because I feel like it's the real statement of intent of the band. It's almost like their manifesto. Lyrically, musically, again, very complex. I mean, the first half of the song is in 7/8 time, and it gives it this real robotic, herky-jerky sort of feel. And then they go into the 4/4 for the call and response part. And also, I picked this song because it's such a concert staple as well. They play it. They basically played it in every show since 1975, and I was lucky enough to see them in Adelaide and be right in the front row. And then during the call and response part, Mark would come out and do the "Are We Not Men?" and then stick the microphone into the audience for the "We Are Devo" part. And he stuck the microphone right in my face, so I got to scream "We Are Devo" at the top of my lungs, and it was wonderful. There's a lot of great songs on this album. "Uncontrollable Urge" is one we haven't mentioned yet, which I think is just such a great album opener. Too Much Paranoia and "Shrivel Up" to close the album is great too. But my pick is "Jocko Homo."
Excellent pick. This was very hard for me to pick something off the debut album. But I'm picking a song that the band played quite a bit in their early years. From 1976 to 1980, they played this a lot. But they kind of retired it like in 82. They really didn't play it that much. But the song, they developed this during a jam session back in Akron. And it began as a cover of "Paint It Black." But they changed it. They thought that the lyrics of "Satisfaction" worked better. And this is also a version when they recorded it that they had to get permission from Mick Jagger because the music was so different than the Stones version of "Satisfaction." But he liked it and he gave the okay. So I'm going with "Satisfaction" because it's just so groundbreaking. Think about this when this came out. Just think about how jarring this would have been. It's almost like Kraftwerk meets, I don't know, something from an alien planet. But it's just so revolutionary and so creative and so different for the time. I could have picked plenty of songs off the first album, but I think their version of "Satisfaction" is very iconic. And when you hear it, it's instantly recognizable. You know who it is. I love it. I can't get enough of it, so I'm going with "Satisfaction."
I think that, well, first off, it's a very iconic video as well. And when you're a kid in high school like I was, and you're kind of I don't want to say misfit, but you kind of are one of those people that doesn't quite belong. Like I was in band and I was in art. And so, when I saw the video for "Satisfaction," I was just blown away by it. I was just like, that's so weird. How did that get on TV? But and the great thing about "Satisfaction" also is that it really divides the people, especially back then, who just didn't get it. So you take something like a Stone song, which is revered, and then you turn it on its head like that. And you think, you know what, this is fun. And the people who don't get the joke or that don't think it's fun get mad. And that just makes it even more fun to be a Devo fan because you're just like, you just don't get it. So I think it was brilliant to take a classic song like that and do such a different version of it. Because if anything, even if they had never got any further than that debut album, they would have, people would have paid attention to that no matter what.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
I'd go so far as to say it's one of the greatest cover versions of all time. So
I think it may be.
It's definitely the best version of "Satisfaction" ever. I will give it that.
And you got to give it to Mick Jagger too, because nobody knew who they were, and he heard that weird version of his song and went, "Hey, that's kind of cool." Yeah,
he dug it. He thought it was.
Yeah,
great.
apparently, like 30 seconds into listening to it, he stood up and started doing his sort of chicken dance that he does on stage, and
If it has
excellent.
Mick Jagger's approval, I'm good with that.
yeah.
Excellent. All right, Todd.
All right.
What? We're on to Duty Now for the Future.
Moving on, Duty Now for the Future. Bicyclelegs, do you have the Virgin Records version of this? Because that's what I
Yes.
had when I was in high school. I don't know. Well, you can hold it up when it's your turn, I guess. But that's the one I had when I was in high school. But because it was cheaper, it was on sale. But I had a really hard time with this one because this is my favorite Devo album, and
Wow.
I picked Clock Out because it's got such a great energy, and it's probably, I mean, the whole album is a good example of this, but it's probably the best example of the amazing Ken Scott production. I mean, the clarity on this album and the crispness of it, and it's very clean sounding, and at the same time, it's also heavy in a weird sort of way, in a way that is kind of unconventional. But I just think Clock Out is absolutely amazing. The energy of it and the way it sounds, and those synth sounds that I up until that point I had never heard anything so strange in a in a song. And I'm a synthesizer freak, and even back then I was even more so. And so I just thought Clock Out was just outstanding. And it's also a very dirty song. Lyrically, but there were a lot of songs that I could have picked. I mean, I love Blockhead, and I don't want to talk too much about Blockhead in case somebody else picked it, but I have not been able to figure out what time signature that song is in. I don't think it's a time signature. I think it's just some pattern that they made up and just repeated. But I think this album is absolutely brilliant. I think the playing on it is unreal. And again, even better than Gut Feeling. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, Devo's music is so simple. They can't play. It was all drum machines." They need to hear this.
Yeah.
Here's the Infinite Zero version.
Oh yeah, I used to have that.
I've got that one. It's great.
I wanted to add though, Devo did not like this album at all. They didn't like Ken Scott's production.
Oh, okay.
No, they hated this record.
I loved it.
Well, it's not so much they hated the record; they just hated the production. I think they were happy with the songs,
right? But not the treatment.
Interesting thing about this album: a lot of the songs on this album are actually older songs than the ones that are on "Are We Not Men." They actually delved a little bit deeper into what was originally the hardcore Devo, which I hopefully will get to later on. But this is my regular copy, sort of again the US, UK, US, North America, Australia cover, and this is the cover for Europe.
Mine had a pink stripe down the left side.
Yes, there are variations on it. Now, Blockhead, wonderful song. I have calculated, I think that opening part of it is in 11/8.
Okay. I'll have to count through it again and see if I can make sense.
It's a very, very complicated time signature. But I almost went with Blockhead because it's a wonderful, wonderful song, although I find some of the live versions better because they're like a lot more, especially that, the end part where it's sort of building up and building up. They like really go for that in live concerts, and it's really, really wonderful. But I had to go with Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA, because I just think it's an iconic Devo song. Again, it's a song that to this day they play in concert. It's a long song for Devo. It's like 6 minutes long. It's a bit longer again in concert. It's usually about 7 or 8 minutes long in concert. I just love the flow of it. I love the two parts of it, where you have the sort of more stately Smart Patrol section, and then you get into the much more sort of energetic Mr. DNA section, and then you go back to the Smart Patrol right at the end. And I love the weird synthesizer sounds in it. I love the guitar playing. Bob One plays a beautiful guitar solo in it. So that was the one that really had to be it for me. Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA.
Excellent.
And that lyric about we've got to sacrifice ourselves. Okay, we've got a lot to give. There's just something that's so hilarious about that.
Yeah, Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA. I mean the origins of that were in like 1974. So, like you said before, a lot of these tracks are like old tracks
Yeah.
that they've re-recorded. Well, my choice off duty now is also Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA. I, I don't. We didn't talk about this before what we were picking, so
Mm.
I can't add any more to it than what you added, Bicyclelegs. It's a classic track. It's catchy. It's long. It's 6:02 on the album version, but I think it's just a classic Devo. I know that the band didn't like the production on this record, but I'm not sure what I'm hearing that they don't like. I'm like you, Todd. I think the production on it's fine. It sounds great.
And
I think their problem was that they thought the guitars were a bit thin on it. They wanted them to be a bit chunkier, like they were on the first album.
Gotcha.
That's Jerry's in particular. That's his sort of beef with the album. And I love this album. I'm with Todd. Depending on what day you ask me, this is either my number one Devo album or my number two. So,
Wow.
yeah, I think it's a fabulous record.
And so many great songs. Swelling Itching Brain, Pink Pussycat.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine writing the songs like that in 1974. I don't know if they were all written that early, but if any of them were written that early, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's when they wrote it. Cutting edge stuff. But my favorite album isn't either one of these. You'll be surprised what my favorite album is. All right. On to
We moving on?
Freedom of Choice.
Freedom of Choice. Okay. So this Freedom of Choice, when this came out, it was funny because it was one of those things where it's kind of like Rush Permanent Waves, where it comes out and it's way different than what came out before it. But we weren't mad. We were just like, whoa, that's interesting. that's different than the album before it. But we absolutely loved it right off the bat. And it was hard for me to pick a song off of this record too. But I went with a really contrarian choice. I went with That's Pep. And just because I like the rhythmic quality of it and I like the synth sounds in it. And I almost picked Don't You Know, and I almost picked It's Not Right. I have so many favorites off this album. But I went with That's Pep. And I was drawn to it from the very beginning because I thought the title was funny. And I always loved it. So that's my choice.
Yeah, the lyric on that song is really good too because it's like almost like a mock, pep talk, as it were.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yep, I agree. I like the lyrics too.
Great. It's a good choice, Todd. I like that. Well,
Thanks.
I like the whole record. These first Devo albums, it's hard for me to pick anything, so because I just love them so much.
Well, here's my copy, and this was actually the first Devo album I ever owned. It was one of two albums that I got given for my 10th birthday. I'd seen them on, there was an Australian music program called Countdown, and that's where I fell in love with them. And yeah, I got this album for my 10th birthday. I've been a fan ever since. It was very hard to pick a track off this because there's so many good ones. I almost went with Ton of Love because I always really loved that song. I almost went with Gates of Steel because, again, that's a Devo classic. But in the end, I went with the title track, Freedom of Choice, because I think it's a great song. It's a more rocking song. And I think lyrically, it's probably the most Devo song on the album, as in, sort of the de-evolution kind of concept. I think a lot of the other songs, they're sort of going into, romantic lyrics, albeit from that very skewed Devo point of view. But this one is very much in the sort of the ethic of the de-evolution concept. And so that's why I've always really, really loved that one. And that's why I picked, Freedom of Choice as my song to pick off this album.
Excellent.
Oh, I could have gone with Mr. B's Ballroom too. I always really love that song.
Well, my pick is like one of the newer songs they had written. This was written in 79. Rumor has it that it was inspired by the Knack's My Sharona. I could probably see that. It's the lead single from Freedom of Choice, and it was Devo's third album. It was actually supposed to be called The Girl You Want. But we're going with the first track on the record, Girl You Want. Great. They first performed it December 79. It's catchy. I can listen to it over and over again. Just a great track. And I do want to say that I do love Whip It too. I mean, the whole record I really enjoy. Gosh, what else? Freedom of Choice. That is a great choice. It probably is the best. It possibly is probably the best song on the record. But Girl You Want, I just have I don't know. I just like it. Planet Earth, the whole thing. It's a classic, kids. It's a classic.
Okay. So
we're going to, New Traditionalists.
New Traditionalists. Okay.
1981.
So, again, I keep saying the same thing over and over that I was having trouble
know.
picking a song, but I changed this one 3 times. But this was my gut feeling about which was my favorite song in this album, and so I stuck with Jerkin' Back and Forth, and that was my first favorite when I first heard it. I just think, something that I think that you have to consider whenever you're talking about this album is, I don't know, I should have researched this, but I do remember reading that there was an issue with the master tape with this record. And as they were going through the overdubbing, the oxide was rubbing off. There was a issue with a whole batch of Ampex tapes back in the day. And this album was part of that, and so they actually had to make like a safety master, after the oxide started wearing off of the tape. And so the kind of somewhat muffled sound of the drums in this album is partially because of that. I don't know how much different it would have been, but I suppose it would have sounded a little brighter if they hadn't had that technical difficulty. But it works for the album. And back when it came out, we didn't know that. We just thought, oh, this one sounds different from the last one. Right. But I love Jerking Back and Forth. I like the energy of it. There are parts of it that sound like just a plain old rock song, and there are parts of it that are very Devo. But so many songs. It's surprising to me and probably to everyone else that I didn't pick Beautiful World, because it's really my kind of song as far as I tend to gravitate towards the, it's not really a ballad, but the more ballad-esque kinds of songs. Mm-hmm. Enough Said is a fantastic song. Going Under, I love. I think this album has 10 great songs, and it's hard to pick one, but I picked Jerkin' Back and Forth.
Good choice. Infinite Zero version.
Yes.
Good
okay,
choice.
Well, here's my, again, this is the cover for North America and Australia. This one, my Australian one, it had poster in it, and it had the bonus single of Working in a Coal Mine.
I have the reissued one, and they reissued the poster too.
Yeah.
One of the ugliest posters I've ever seen.
This is the cover for Europe.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like better a bit, I think. It's just a little more Devo, because it's got Boogie Boy on it. And this was a hard one because, again, this is the one, like I was saying, Duty Now for the Future is either number 1 or number 2. This is the other one that is either number 1 or number 2 for me, New Traditionalist. Whereas Freedom of Choice was the first Devo album I ever owned because I got given it for my birthday. New Traditionalist was the first album I ever spent my own pocket money on. So it'll always have a special place in my heart for me. There are so many good songs on this album. Through Being Cool, Jerking Back and Forth. The Super Thing, I think, is a great song. Soft Things is my son's favourite song off this album. He's a big Devo fan too, like father, like son. But the song I'm going to go for is Going Under. When we get to it, if we get to the hardcore Devo albums, this actually borrows some lyrics from a song on one of the hardcore Devo albums. So it's sort of like recycles some lyrics. But it's a wonderful song. Again, very Devo, very much in the sort of de-evolution mindset lyrically. And musically, I just love the relentlessness of it. It just boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. You know, it doesn't let go. It keeps you in that groove the whole time. So that's why I'm going to pick Going Under as my favorite song from New Traditionalists.
Great pick. Well, I almost went with what Todd was going to go with, and my choice is Beautiful World. I think that's Jerry Casale's best work. I think back when I was in high school and this was out, I didn't care for it that much. But boy, as I've gotten older, I just appreciate the lyrical content. His singing, the whole production of it, I absolutely love it. I didn't realize this, but I read about that this song was re-recorded for a television commercial for Target department stores. Do you guys remember that?
I do.
You might not have had that in Australia, but
Not
you
in
remember
enough
that?
detail to
No.
talk about it, but I do remember.
It's just crazy. But yeah, that's my pick. I think it's the best track on the record.
And that's the ultimate cynical lyric too, isn't it? It's a beautiful
Yes.
world
Yes.
for you,
Right.
not me.
Not me. But this is the thing where the critics started. This is where they think that the cracks are starting to form. Where it was on this record. I don't hear that. I think this is just as strong
don't
as
either.
the other records. But you know, I don't know. Critics are critics. But that's the album they thought things were starting to fall apart.
I think if
Well-
you're as original as Devo is, there are no cracks.
And the thing you've got to remember is that at the time, Devo were never the critics' darlings, ever. You know, they were always kind of critically panned. It's really only in the last 10, 15 years that their legacy has been reassessed. And people have realized what an influence they've been on so many other artists, that they're finally, I think, getting their dues.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if they've been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Say what you want about that, but still, you know, I think they're worthy. I think they definitely should be in it. Whether they get in, I don't
absolutely.
know. But they were so influential to so many bands, like you said. How
There's
could
a
they
very
not be
short
in it?
list of bands that actually created their own thing, and they are one of them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go to Oh No, It's Devo, which I
Okay.
want to say is my hard to believe, but this is my favorite Devo album. I just
No,
love this record.
it's very close for me. And when it came out, I thought that the concept of calling it "Oh No, It's Devo" and having the picture on the front be like a picture of people who seem like they're shocked was just the most fantastic thing ever. And I grew up in the South, and so we used to always make fun of people who were Southern and didn't necessarily really understand what Devo was all about. And they would say things like, "What are you, some kind of Devo?" And so the whole concept of an album being called "Oh No, It's Devo" is just fantastic. But I love this album. I think it's a great compromise between all the different ways that they sound. It sounds, they're using electronic drums and drum machines at this point, but it still sounds a little bit organic. It's not as mechanical sounding as the one before it. And it's just, I love the album. I really almost picked Time Out for Fun just because I think it's such a great opener. It's probably my favorite Devo opener, but I picked Big Mess. because I just absolutely love Big Mess. I don't even have a good explanation for why I picked it because I love every song so much. But I like Time Out for Fun, and I like what's the song after Big Mess? My mind's drawn a blank. I didn't write it down.
It's a Speed Racer.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, Time Out for Fun, and Big Mess are my favorites. But and I also like That's Good. But I could
You
just
like the whole thing,
talk
Todd.
about all of them. But yeah, I picked Big Mess. It's my favorite.
You know what's funny though? You know that Warner Brothers had that reissue campaign, so they put all the other albums. Of course, Infinite Zero. This was the last time it was released here in the States. It was that other reissue campaign. They never reissued this.
Yeah, I don't know why they stopped.
Probably because at that time, you know, CDs were. Because what year did these come out? I can't read that. Can't read it. But it's a shame that it never got the proper reissue treatment. Though probably the Infinite Zero version probably sounds better because it's, you know, older. Probably not as these are probably brick walled to some degree.
But those are the original vinyl for Oh No It's Devo doesn't really have that much value to it. It's like a $12-$14 record here in the States. So it's not like
I got
one of
mine
those
for
things
$1.
Yeah, you can usually find it pretty cheap.
But yeah.
I don't know why people don't love it because I love it.
This record. It's the last
It's one
great
that's,
Devo album.
It's one that's really gone up in my estimations over the last 10 years or so. I always liked it, but now it's probably my number 3. So I'm giving away
Ooh, a promo.
Yeah, this one's a promo.
Nice.
I'm probably giving away a lot of my album ranking when I do the album ranking show, which I'm hopefully doing fairly soon on my channel. There were a lot of songs I could have chosen here. Peekaboo is, for me, one of their best singles. I just adore that song. And I love the creepiness of the lyric. Peekaboo, I know what you do, 'cause I do it too. Yeah, so many great songs. Deep Sleep was a definite contender. But in the end, I agreed with Todd and I went with Big Mess. Because I think it's a fabulous song. I don't know if you know the backstory behind the song Big Mess.
I don't.
But it was based on somebody gave Devo this letter that had been written in by this guy who called himself Cowboy Kim. And he wrote like the Cowboy Kim letters.
Oh, this does sound a little bit familiar. Yeah.
And a lot of the lyrics were based on what were in the Cowboy Kim letters. And this guy was like, I think he had an intellectual disability, but he apparently had a graveyard shift radio show, and he wrote in and talked about his show. And that's where a lot of the lyrics for this song came from. So, but yeah, musically, I've just always thought it was just a fabulous song too. So yeah, that's my choice, Big Mess.
Yeah, I love that. The version that's on this record, Recombo DNA, is great. The version of Big Mess. I think it's the demo, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it has Mark doing the vocal instead of Jerry.
Highly recommend that. If anybody's watching this, check out the version of Big Mess on here. I don't know if you can stream this or it's on Spotify. I don't know.
It has been re-released on vinyl as well.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still available though.
This is the Rhino handmade.
Yeah.
Anyway, going on a tangent. My favorite track on here is a song that they played a lot on MTV. I'll never forget the video. They used to play it on Night Flight. Todd, do you remember watching Night Flight?
Yeah,
when you were a
absolutely.
kid? Holy
Yeah.
crap, I miss Night Flight. But in Friday night videos, they played this. Well, it was more of a Night Flight thing, more of an MTV thing. But I'm going to have to go with Peekaboo because this is like one of the first Devo songs that totally took me in. And I just thought it was brilliant. I love the video with the pirate, and it's just, for back then, it just made a big impression on me, and I think it's a great single. Probably one of the best Devo singles ever.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say about it. It's absolutely brilliant. But Big Mess would be my number 2. But those could change. But I do think Big Mess is one of the best Devo, well-written Devo songs. It's a beautiful song. I love it. Either one. But my vote goes for Peekaboo.
And Peekaboo is so weird. It's another one of those things where people who don't like Devo just think, what a stupid, weird song. Why do you like that? And it's like, oh, just continue not getting it. Sorry, that sounds really elitist of me, but
No, that's
I always had fun messing with people who didn't understand Devo. But
well, now we're starting to get into. Now things are probably going to start getting interesting now.
oh, it's time to
Wait a minute, I got to click the right button.
There it is.
Yeah, we're on Shout now.
Well, I have to say that there's never been a Devo record that I didn't love when it came out, and Shout is no exception.
Really?
I didn't learn about how it was made. I learned relatively early, but when it first came out, I didn't know that the entire thing was done with the Fairlight. You can tell that it sounds like it, but there was never any doubt for me what my favorite was going to be. It's always been and always will be Puppet Boy. And Puppet Boy is so weird. There's this conversation between a man and Puppet Boy. Is he a puppet? Is he a human? We're not sure. He thinks he's human, I think. But it's so there's that one part where he says no. And then they say, "What's that, Puppet Boy?" And he says, "Don't tell me what to do. I'm not a freak like you. I'll move when I want to." And it also has kind of an attitude about it, like as if he wants to say, "Stop calling me Puppet Boy." And so I've always thought that song was hilarious, and I always loved it, and I still do. I also like the version of Are You Experienced because I think it's weird in a really cool way. But not the greatest album, but I still like it.
Well, I think if it had the analog synth, if it was more like the production of Oh No, It's Devo, I think there's some good songs on here. It's the Fairlight that I think kills it, and it certainly dates it.
Well, it's the sameness of it too. It feels like the whole thing was everything has the exactly, and I like consistency, but it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't seem genuine. It seems synthetic. And in a way, that's kind of Devo-esque.
And I guess it was
it's almost like a fake record.
It was Mark Mothersbaugh who was pushing for the Fairlight.
Yeah,
Jerry
he was always
totally
going for
against
the new
it.
technology.
Yeah, Jerry's he doesn't care for this record at all. But I can get it. It's It doesn't sound like Devo anymore.
I still like this record. This one's got the hype sticker on it.
Oh, nice.
But I agree that the production on it is dated. I loved this record when it first came out, when I bought it in 1984. I really, really enjoyed it. It definitely has gone down in my estimation over the years because of the dated production on it. I always love the title track, Shout. I think that's a really good song.
Shout's good.
Satisfied Mind, I think, is a really good song as well. Here to Go, the original version, and then later on the Go Mix version is really good. But again, I'm going to be agreeing with Todd and going with Puppet Boy. And Puppet Boy has been my favorite song on this album since 1984.
Wow.
Yeah, it's day one.
Yeah, this was the easiest one of all of these for me to choose which song. It was like, oh, okay, I'm up to Shout. Well, Puppet Boy next.
At least it was easy.
So because Puppet Boy is so odd and out there lyrically and musically, I think it's one of the songs that works best with the Fairlight sounds and what have you. I think it's that those songs those sounds serve that song really, really well. So yeah, Puppet Boy for me, definitely the best song on this album.
Again, this is another CD that never got the reissue treatment other than Infinite Zero CD. And there's nothing wrong with the Infinite Zero CD, kids, if you can find it.
Oh no, they're great.
Yeah, they're top notch. Now, I'm kind of going outside the boundaries here. I'm picking a song that's on here, but it was actually the B-side to Are You Experienced? So I'm breaking the rules. Even though it's the same sessions, it could have been on here, and it's on this record, on the CD. I'm going to go with Growing Pains, which is the B-side of Are You Experienced? And if you listen to that track still sounds like Oh No, It's Devo to some degree. It's not so far out there with the Fairlight production. To me, it still has that great songwriting. I know it's breaking the rules, but I'm going to go with Growing Pains and just go out of the box here.
Yeah.
I think it's a great track. I think it's underrated. And I don't think it suffers from the whole production of the rest of the record.
I think it's got a slightly lighter sound than a lot of the songs on Shout. I think Shout has a bit of a dark sound because of the Fairlight.
This seems like this actually could be a single, I think. To me, it could be. I don't know. I love it.
Well, I was going to talk about this when we got closer to the end, but I'm trying to remember where the theme from the movie Dr. Detroit comes in. I think it's right before Shout. It's either right before it or right after.
It's in between Oh No, It's Devo and Shout. It came out in 1983, I think.
And
it definitely has more of an Oh No, It's Devo sound than a Shout
it's on
sound.
here. Like the 12-inch version.
Yeah,
It's on here.
and I had the 12-inch of it, which has them with potato bodies. So that's why I thought it was right around this time. But I think that's a great song. I mean, I know it's cheesy because it's a movie soundtrack song, but I think that's a good song. I like that song.
I wish though that this didn't have the 12-inch version of it.
Yeah, the 12-inch had the regular version, like on the other side, and that's the version that I always liked.
And it had the song "Love, Love," which I always thought was a good song too.
Yeah,
has Dr. Detroit
still had that?
Has that ever been released digitally or on a CD ever?
I don't
recall ever seeing it.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's great that the 12-inch version's on here. That's fine, but I'd love to just have the regular, single or whatever. But whatever. Maybe it's on something. I have not seen it.
And I remember that it had that country western style Bob One guitar solo in it that I always thought was fun.
Yeah.
All right, are we moving on?
Yeah.
Okay, so Total Devo, which I think is an outstanding Devo album. I absolutely love it. When it came out, I was totally flipped out by it. I couldn't believe, first of all, that there was a Devo album, that they got signed by a different label, and they didn't just disband. But my favorite song on that record is Plain Truth. And I tend to gravitate towards songs that are sung by Jerry, and so this one would be no exception. But I really love Plain Truth. I think Plain Truth is a really good song. I think it's a good song lyrically, and I think it's a good song melodically. And I like the way Jerry sings it. And it's always been my favorite from Total Devo. So I don't know what you guys think of Total Devo, but I think it's a good record.
I think it's a better record than Shout.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because on my channel, anybody who wants to come and have a look, I've actually done a video in defense of Total Devo.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
Yeah, so I'll argue that it's like, because within the Devo fandom, I'm sort of like fairly heavily involved in the Devo fandom on Facebook. The Devo fandom hate that album. They loathe it.
Really?
Yeah.
How do they look at Shout?
Not very favorably, but more favorably than Total Devo.
Huh,
Total Devo is like the one that they don't like. So anyway,
I like it. It sounds good. Everything. I like everything about it.
But yeah, there's definitely a video on my channel in defense of Total Devo, where I go through it track by track and say it's actually a pretty good album. It's not one of my favorites by any stretch, but it's definitely a good album. That's my copy of it there. I went a bit standard with this one. I didn't go for an out there pick. My favorite song on this, from the moment I heard it when it was released as a single, was Disco Dancer. Because I just think I love the sound of that song. I love the production of it. It had a fun video. I like the lyric on it. Yeah, I just think it's a standout track on this album. But I could have, yeah, I mean, Some Things Never Change is also a really, really good song.
That's my second favorite.
Yeah. I like Blow Up. I think that's a lot of fun. And then not on the vinyl, but on the CD, you get Sexy Love, which is also like a one of their more hilarious songs. But yeah, it's a good album.
There you go. Well, I had trouble picking one off of here, but I'm going to go with the 5th track off Total Devo, Happy Guy. One of the things that I've read about that I really didn't realize was that the intro to Happy Guy was originally from Nutra Speaks.
Yes, the dee.
Yeah. And now that I went, oh my God, that's why it sounds so familiar. But I like this song quite a bit. I mean, it's catchy. It's a decent melody. I mean, is the production totally what I really like from Devo? No, but I think it's better than Shout. And would I like to see this have like the freedom of choice treatment? I would. I'd love to hear it all with analog synths. But I really do like this record. I think it's probably underrated.
I forgot to show you. This is a reissue that they did in recent years of the album.
Yeah, I like that
different cover. It's definitely a better cover. And also, you're talking about sort of, again, Devo recycling ideas. Plain Truth. The beginning of that, the dee 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 dee, in a very mutated version, was on a hardcore Devo track called Chango.
Oh.
So
I have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. It's a very mutated version of that, but if you listen to it, it's in the middle section of Chango. And if you listen to that, yeah, you will actually hear it. That intro.
Okay.
So,
I don't think I've got hardcore Devo. I might have had it once.
No.
You don't see that very often out in the wild when you're looking for stuff. I hardly ever see any Devo at all.
Yeah.
Again, they did reissue those in recent years, so they should be out there if you want them.
Yeah, I should get those. This will probably get me all hopped up on Devo, so. All right, next.
So we're up to
all right.
Noodle Maps.
So we're up to Smooth Noodle Maps. And I think this is a good time to say that as far as I could tell from my search, Total Devo and Smooth Noodle Maps are not available to stream. So there's something going on with the Enigma Records masters. There must be because I couldn't find them. But
yeah, well, Enigma went out of business a long time ago.
Yeah.
So.
And they were distributed by Capitol, so maybe, who knows?
Yeah, so for whatever reason, they're not out there. But Smooth Noodle Maps, I remember this when it came out so well. Again, I was completely thrilled that there was another Devo album, especially so close to the one before it. But I was dating this girl who was getting her master's degree in comparative literature, and her area of study of her area of expertise was postmodernism. So I remember playing postmodern man for her, and her really liking it and saying, I'm not sure they quite understand what postmodernism is, but I like the song. And I think she got a kick out of the fact that they called the song that. But my favorite, again, this is another one that's always been my favorite from day one, is Devo Has Feelings Too. And even if I didn't love the song, I'd probably pick it anyway because I think it's the greatest Devo title of all time. I think that especially after Oh No, It's Devo, I think having a song called Devo Has Feelings Too, I think is just brilliant. And I love it. Melodically, I love everything about the track. And so Devo Has Feelings Too is my favorite. But I think that's a pretty good record. I mean, is it one of my favorites? No, but I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's okay.
Well, here's my original pressing vinyl, although this is the first Devo album that when I originally bought it on CD.
Mm-hmm.
I only ever had the CD.
I bought this much later on. And then again, they recently reissued this with a different cover. It's a die-cut sleeve.
I need to go find that.
I think it's still available.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I will go on record as saying that although I do enjoy this album, this is probably my least favorite Devo album.
It's down there at the bottom.
Yeah. There's still some good songs on there. Stuck in a Loop is a good song. I like Postmodern Man. Their cover of Morning Dew is quite interesting. But the song I went for, because I just think it's the most off-the-wall song on this album, is Pink Jazz Trances.
That's my second favorite.
I just love the sound of it, and the electronic drums on it, like they're played electronic drums. They're not a drum machine.
Mm-hmm.
Just sound fabulous. And just the whole sound of the track. It's a real sort of soundscape, this song, and I really enjoy that. And I just always loved that intro, that Pink Jazz Trancers, beanie. So that's my favorite off the song. Devo Has Feelings Too is good too. And I always like Jimmy. Jimmy is just like a real sort of comeuppance song.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going with Pink Jazz Trances on this album.
And David Kendrick is a good drummer too. We didn't mention him.
Yeah, and he played in Sparks before he was in Devo.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I'm not very. Yeah, like I said, this isn't a very. This isn't an album that I'm really into that much. I'm gonna go with Postmodern Man, just for the fact that it's kind of like. It was one of those tracks that they played a lot. Not a lot, but I remember seeing it like on Friday night videos or on Night Flight. They used to play it quite a bit. And even though the video was great. I love the video, but there's not really anything on this record that really speaks to me so much. It's just that production that just gets me. I just miss those analog synths. But I think Postmodern Man, I think there's a good track in there somewhere, and it doesn't bother me too much. But it's not. There's not really anything on here that I particularly are really into. But that song's okay. So I'm going with that. Kind of a boring pick, but...
Well, like I said before, I was really happy that there even was a Devo at this point. And I saw them around this time, sometime in the Enigma era, and they were still doing good concerts. So yeah.
So there you go.
All right, we're jumping ahead a few years.
Yeah. Something
so,
for everybody.
Yeah, something for everybody. Again, I'm going to say it again. A Devo album. Fantastic. I thought Devo were finished. Definitely the weirdest Devo hats of all time, I think, right there. I think
I've
the
got
cover
one of those.
is really... Oh, do you?
Do you have one?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I think the cover is really cool. Yeah, I want to talk... If we're done, if we have a minute, I want to talk about Devo merch, because... And when I was in high school, me and my friends used to actually order the things that were on the inner sleeve.
We're good at 804, we're right.
But anyway, this album I think is really good. And when I went back to it recently, like just in the last couple of days, it didn't seem like it was as good as I remembered it being in 2010. But I think, considering the circumstances, I think it's really good. I had so much trouble picking a favorite that I'm going to switch. I'm going to not say the favorite that's in my notes because I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go with No Place Like Home. And I almost didn't pick No Place Like Home because it's almost so straightforward that it seems awkward. But I still think it's a really good song. I had trouble picking between that and March On. But I like Fresh a lot. Some of the songs I like the concepts and the titles better than the actual song, like Don't Shoot, I'm a Man, which I think is just a great title. And Human Rocket is the same way. I remember when it came out, I liked Later Is Now a lot, but it doesn't, it just seems okay to me now. But I think it's remarkable that they got back together and did this and actually came up with like a concept and a really great cover. And I don't know, I just thought it was a pretty strong record considering how many years had gone by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, that's my vinyl copy of it. Yeah, on blue vinyl.
Yeah, I've got that. Did
Very
it come with a
nice.
CD in there too?
Yes.
Yep.
I thought this was their first album in 20 years. I thought it was better than it had any right to be, considering that it had been 20 years since they did an album. I still think it's a good album, not a, classic Devo album, but I still think it's a very, very good album. I had a lot of difficulty choosing. In fact, in my notes, I still have 2 songs that I was flipping between, and I went and watched the clips for them because they were both songs that have clips. I went and watched them last night and finally went, yeah, I'm going with this one. It was between What We Do and Don't Shoot, I'm a Man, and I ended up going with Don't Shoot, I'm a Man because I just love the up-tempo-ness of it. Yeah. I love the lyric of it. It's a song they still play in concert, which I think is really, really cool. I mean, their live set hasn't changed for the last 10 years, basically. They add a song here or they'll drop a song there. But other than that, because they've got the backdrop videos for stuff and all that, they feel like they need to basically play the same set all the time. But I'll still go and see them if they ever come here again. I've seen them 3 times. I wanted to see them in 1982 when they toured on New Traditionalists, but I was not quite 11 at the time and my parents would not let me go. So,
oh man,
still that concert footage from last month is really pretty good. I don't know if you've seen any of it on YouTube.
I love. Did you see the intro video that they got? They got Rod Reuter back to do.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen that yet. I have to look for that.
Look for it on YouTube. It's wonderful. It's hilarious. But yeah, there's some good songs on here. I mean, Fresh is a really good song. I like Something. Later Is Now, March On. Yeah, it's a good album. It's a strong album. It's not quite classic Devo, but I think it's a very strong album. But yeah, my choice is Don't Shoot, I'm a Man.
Excellent choice. This one depends upon what version you have of this. But the song that wasn't released on the CD or the record was Watch Us Work It, which is by far the best track that should have been on this record.
Yeah, I had the iTunes download of that.
Yeah, I do too. Why they didn't include it, I don't know what the story was. The Japanese import has it on it. The digital deluxe... Go ahead.
I think they just felt that sound-wise it didn't quite fit in with the rest of the record.
Yeah, it predates it by about 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 2007 or something like that?
I've got a 12-inch single of it, which is really, really good.
Well, I think it should have been on there because I think that is classic Devo. I think so. Sounds wonderful.
Course, that song, sort of reusing stuff. It uses the drum machine pattern from Super Thing, from New Traditionalists.
I think it's phenomenal. It should have been on this record. The reviews for this record, I looked them up, and Rolling Stone gave it 3.5. All Music gave it 3.5. The Independent, 4. Pitchfork Media gave it a 6.6 out of 10. So for the most part, for a band that hadn't put anything out for 20 years,
yeah,
I really love this record. I think it's great, and the other record I like just as much. They put out Something Else for Everybody, which are the tracks that were leftovers, because what they did is they did like it. What did they do? Like an audience.
Yeah, they did a poll, and they didn't end up putting the tracks from the poll that didn't make the album on
Right.
this.
Mhm.
If you get the iTunes version of the album, you get all 15 songs that were originally in the running for Something for Everybody. These are
I
demos
remember-
of other songs that
Yeah,
didn't
this is
quite
great.
make
Yeah.
it.
I
To the,
remember participating in that. Didn't you get the downloads, and then like you had to pay for the downloads, and if you paid, you could vote or something like that? I
you
think I
got to
remember
listen
doing
to
that.
clips of it, and
Yeah.
you had to make your decision based on the clips of it. And yeah,
Well, if I could pick Watch Us Work It, I would pick it. But I'm going with Don't Shoot, I'm a Man. Everything Bicyclelegs said is true. It's a great track. It was hard for me to pick something off of here because I think the whole thing is strong and it has that Devo sound that I just love.
yeah.
But I would have to go Don't Shoot, I'm a Man. I think that's great. But Watch Us Work It is total classic Devo that is just as good as anything they had ever done before.
But yeah, one of the
Quote
things
me on that.
one of the things that I thought was really cool is it's the logo's too small to read on this, but it came out on Warner Brothers in the
Yeah,
States,
it's
so
on
it was
Warner
like, oh,
Brothers.
it's like full circle. Oh, and it made me think, oh, Warner Brothers is interested in Devo now.
Well, it was because
They're getting a lot of attention. Maybe
It
Warner
was
Brothers
that
can make
Target ad.
some cash on Devo again.
Yeah.
Well, Watch Us Work It was very popular,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's what did it. I do think it's a crime it should have been on there, but whatever. You can.
So-
It's available.
So Bicyclelegs mentioned going to see Devo, and I think I've seen Devo 6 or 7 times. I saw Freedom of Choice, New Traditionalists, Oh No, It's Devo, and Shout. And then sometime in the Enigma area, I saw them once. And then I saw them at Music Midtown in Atlanta in, I think, 2008. And that show was phenomenal. I mean, really good, like among one of the best. But I don't know if anybody has seen the Oh No, It's Devo show. But I remember my friend that I went with being very disappointed because at the beginning of it, the first 7 or 8 songs are all from Oh No, It's Devo. And they're actually playing in the configuration that they are in whatever video came out. I guess it's probably Peekaboo. But they're standing up, and Alan is playing a stand-up electronic drum kit. And so they do the whole first part of the show that way. And then the lights go down, and the 5 like big, they had these 5 big like things that were like just like little monolithic like things that stood behind them, and they came up out of the floor, and the drum riser came up out of the floor, and they went and they had their full-on Devo instruments with the acoustic drum kit and stuff like that, and then the second part of the show was Devo proper. And it was really cool. I can't describe the way the stage was, but it was the same way that the stage was for, very similar to how it was for Freedom of Choice. And it was just so cool to see the show and to see that setup where they've got the stand-up drums and think, oh, this is how this show's going to go. And then to have all of this stuff like change, it was, and then have them do part of the set as they did the previous 2 tours, I thought was really cool. Some of the best concerts I've ever seen have been Devo concerts.
Yeah, I never saw Devo live. I would go in a second, but I don't know why I never saw him. Saw a lot of people. Didn't see Devo. I don't know.
So we're going to talk about the hardcore albums at all?
I didn't prep for that, but
I didn't prep. Well,
we can.
we
Let's.
can talk about it. You can talk about it.
I'll
It's
talk about it.
8:14.
This
I've got 10 minutes.
I got
Go ahead.
Hardcore Devo Volume 1. And my favorite song on this is a song called Mechanical Man, which really it is like completely robotic. The lyric, the vocal is through a sort of an early vocoder kind of thing. And both of the Hardcore Devo albums are just really, really raw albums because they were recorded on 4-track in a garage, basically. And they're wonderful songs. And then I'll just quickly go to Hardcore Devo Volume 2. And my favorite song on that is a song called All of Us. And that is the song where some of the lyrics from Going Under came from. If you listen to it musically, it's totally different. Musically, it's much like even darker than Going Under. And I think Going Under is a pretty dark song. But musically, it's even darker than Going Under. But it starts off with those lyrics, you know, I left home with a friend of mine, gone 2 years and I don't know why. Now I'm happy all the time. I can't think and I'm feeling fine. It's just a fabulous song. But I highly recommend these to the people, especially who like the early Devo, to hear the sort of real rawness. But do be prepared if you listen to these albums for some stuff that is definitely not politically correct. Because they were definitely going for that whole de-evolution thing, and they were writing songs from the point of view of the people that they viewed as the spuds and the, you know, and the pinheads and that sort of thing. So there is definitely some stuff on there that is not PC. There's a song on Hardcore Devo Volume 2 called I Need a Chick, and I will not go into the lyrics of that song because they will not be family friendly.
I think there's a quote from Jerry, and I don't know when it's from. It's probably from the mid 80s, where he says something like that. He says something like, we view the perfect Devo show as like at the end of it, everybody has an orgasm and then we hose everyone off. That would be the perfect Devo show.
God.
And I think whoever was interviewing him was speechless. But but I wanted to mention Be Stiff. I don't have it anymore, but the original with the black and white cover. And man, Be Stiff is an outstanding song.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
cow,
a wonderful song,
good.
and they did a wonderful rearranged version of it on the Devo Live EP.
Yeah, yeah, and the Devo Live EP is another great thing, which I absolutely love, which is tacked on to the end of this reissue there.
Yeah.
And also Devo Easy Listening record.
Oh yes,
which
wonderful.
I had the original with the pink cover, and I think it was yellow vinyl or something like that, and I absolutely love that record. I think it's great.
Thing I want to mention real quick is the comp Pioneers Who Got Scalped.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is a great comp. Of course, it's all out of print now, but the song on here, It Takes a Worried Man. This is the only place I know you can get it.
Yes.
From 1982 that they recorded it. If anybody saw that on Night Flight, they used to play it all the time. Where you saw Devo working with radioactive waste.
Yes.
And they're glowing and they're riding around in the pickup truck. And they did this for the Neil Young film Human Highway.
Yes.
I love that version. What it really was a Woody Guthrie song called Worried Man Blues.
One of my friends had a video of that, and I don't remember what it was called. I think it was something that that Devo put out, but we used to just listen to that on the VHS tape, just to listen to that song.
Yeah, I think it's on a video called We're All Devo.
Yes.
It is.
And
which is where the Bougie Boy stuff is.
Yeah. But also, if you ever see other clips from the Human Highway, there is a clip of Devo playing with Neil Young, doing a version of Hey Hey My, with Boogie Boy doing the vocal.
I think I've seen that before. But
it's incredible. And apparently, because that was recorded, like that movie took years. That was originally recorded, I think, in 78, which was before the Rust Never Sleeps album came out. And apparently Neil Young took that version to Crazy Horse and said, this is how I want to do this song. So
That's great.
Wow. But is this the only place you can find that? Is on here?
yes, yeah.
This makes the whole price of admission for this worthwhile. But it's a great comp. If you want to be introduced to Devo, this is a great comp if you can pick it up. I don't know if you can stream it. Who knows?
And
Came
does
out
that have one
online.
of those covers that when you move
Yeah,
it
look.
moves? Because I can
Yeah,
see
it's
the
the
the logo
lenticular cover,
moving.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's doing it, but it's doing it. But it's well worth picking up if you can find it. Great comp. What time is it? 8:21. Well, we probably ought to wrap this dog up.
Yep.
Bicyclelegs, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Well, I just had a video come out where I ranked the studio albums of King Crimson, and that video, for some reason, on my little channel just blew up.
I saw that.
Oh, I saw your numbers were really high.
Yeah, it's like normally I get like 100, 200 views for one of those shows. This one's up to 1,700 views already, and it's been out for less than a week. So I don't know what happened there, but I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
My video this coming week is probably going to be an In Defense Of, and it's going to be one that a couple of my viewers have requested, and I'm going to be defending the Yes album Tomato. So that should be fun.
I'll jump in the comments.
I like Tormato. I have no issues with Tormato.
Me too.
No.
I love it. It's a great record. So I'll be tuning in for that. Todd, what do you got? You have any Rush fans or anything else?
Yeah, there's a
What's
Rush
coming up?
There's a Rush fans show that we finished earlier this week, and I don't want to say what it is because you'll probably have this turned around in like 5 minutes, and it doesn't premiere until tomorrow. But we did a little game show thing that was really fun, and I'm gonna be coming up soon on some other things where we talk about specific songs on Power Windows. But I'm also going to be on a couple of Contrarians episodes next week, and then on your show, Grant, we're going to do the second two Matthew Sweet.
Yeah, that's coming
albums.
up. Yeah, we're going to be doing Girlfriend and Altered Beast.
Yep, and I'm going to be on Peter's show, Rock Daydream Nation, talking about Rush Presto.
Oh, Presto.
That's later on
I like
this
that
week.
record too.
Me too.
It seems like a lot of the Rush fans are kind of harsh on that one too, but I don't see it as being weak at all. I don't know.
No, I don't either.
I'll be tuning into that. I'll be interested to see what you guys say about that, because I like Presto. I have no issues with that either, or Tomato, either one. But well, I can plug some stuff. There's an ongoing series on the channel called Cheapy Bin Finds, where I go through and I'm just going through the bins, and I'm pretty much buying CDs because CDs are cheap. So it's like everything that's under $2. And I'm just going and I'm just sharing you what I find and what I recommend, because you never know. You take chances on this stuff and you might really find a gem. You might have had one of these CDs that are in a cheapy bin years ago and you traded it in, and you probably forgot the record for all that matters. But anyway, Nick Squire and I are going to do the next one, even though we don't have a date set up for it, but he wants to come on. He's got stuff to share, but I'm going to have to go out and find some stuff to share with the class. So that's coming up. The other thing I just put up recently was the video on the second British invasion. Everybody knows the first British invasion, the Beatles, Thompson. I was going to say Thompson Twins. The Beatles, the Hollies, all those bands back in the Rolling Stones, for crying out loud. But the second British invasion was pretty much spurred by the whole MTV movement. So you've got Flock of Seagulls, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, ABC, all those bands. So this, I thought, was going to go for like an hour, and I think it went for 2 hours. I swear to God. But it was a great discussion, had a great panel. It was a lot of fun. The other thing that's coming up, and then it's posted right now. Ryan Gavalier and I are going to do a Cheap Trick upcoming live stream. That's going to be tomorrow, where we're going to talk about In Color and the first Cheap Trick album, Cheap Trick. So we're just doing a basic album review, and we're going to go through the entire catalog, and that's probably going to take us, Lord knows how long that's going to take us. It's going to take us a while. So look forward to that. Friday Night Chat, which is a new series that I'm going to launch. So every other Friday, it's just going to have a different topic, and anybody who wants to come on can come on. If you don't want to come on, leave a comment, put a question out to the panel. And I can't tell you who's coming on this because I really don't know. We're just going to roll with it and see what happens. So the first one we're doing is on June 17th at 8 p.m. Now, it might be at 8:30. I don't know yet. There's another show going on before it. I may have to shift it, but 8:30. Right now we're going with 8. And the topic is records you spent way more money on than you'd like to admit. And we all have done it. You know, there's always been those records you've always wanted that you thought, well, should I really spend the money? And you question yourself and you just go ahead and go for it. So this is a time where everyone can confess their sins, open your heart up, talk to the panel, and we just love to hear your stories. Well, guys, I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else other than that. I really enjoyed this whole Devo episode. I wish we could have kept going. We could have kept going.
Yeah.
But
maybe
like
there'll be an episode 2, and we'll all brush up on all the extra.
We could always do
Devo
an
tracks.
episode 2, and I don't know. Look at some records. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know Bicyclelegs is probably going to be doing your favorite Devo tracks, correct? That's in the.
I'm going to be doing
in the plan.
I'm going to be doing a studio albums ranked on my channel sometime soon.
There you go. Perfect. So anyway, hey everyone, I appreciate Todd. Bicyclelegs. Had a lot of fun tonight. I'm glad you guys showed up and we got to talk some Devo. Because Devo needs love, people.
Yes.
Devo has feelings too. And everybody should listen to more Devo.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me, Grant.
It was fun.
Thanks, Grant.
You guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.